we're in the kitchen raising the bar on how to perfectly pair wines with food. And this morning we're making a tasty pasta dish and thinking about 3 different kinds of wine that will go with it. And here to show us all about it is Paul Zitarelli from Full Pole Wines. Welcome to New Day.
Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and thank you for bringing the pasta and the wine this morning.
Absolutely.
So what are you making today and why did we pick this dish?
Yeah, well, when the calendar turns to August, I think about tomatoes. And what was really looking good at the farmer's market this weekend were these little orange cherry tomatoes. So we have a simple cherry tomato and garlic pasta.
Yum. Okay, so you're gonna plate and walk me through kind of how did we get to where we are? Like, what did you put in here that's heated
so
up?
it's really simple. Olive oil, garlic, cherry tomatoes, and then a little pasta cooking water. It's as simple as that. And then it gets a little more complicated when we plate it because I also brought you this whipped ricotta with basil and some Parmesan. So yeah, if you add a little spoonful of that.
Is this a little or a lot?
You know what? If you like a lot, do a lot. That's great. And then a little Parmesan on top, and I'll pass over a fork and you could stir that in.
Yum.
Oh, beautiful.
Amazing. Okay, this already looks so fancy. What about this? Should I sprinkle this in?
It probably has enough salt on there.
Okay.
I think you're good. Yeah.
And then what would you pair with something like this?
Yeah, so tomatoes are an interesting pairing challenge because tomato is a very high acidity fruit or vegetable. So I brought 3 different high acid wines in different shades. So I always like to start with bubbles. Are you okay starting with bubbles?
I am, and this is fantastic.
Thank
but
you.
I guess I should wait so I can pair it.
Oh,
okay,
no,
so we're
that's great.
starting with bubbles. What is this first one?
Yeah, this is, so at Full Pole, which is our wine retail business in Soto, we partner with some wineries to do some private label wines. This is our private label sparkling wine with our friends at Treveri Cellars. So all Chardonnay, very dry, and lots of acidity to go with the tomatoes. So
Crisp.
Cheers.
I know,
Great to be here with you.
This is so delicious. I know, tell people more about Full Pole Wines for someone that hasn't heard of y'all. You're in Soto, but what else can you tell us?
Yeah, so we've been there since 2009, so it's 16 years old, but we sort of exist quietly, a little under the radar. The way that we work, we send out a daily email offer to our subscribers and list members. Folks read the email, and if they're interested, they order the wine. We have our warehouse in Soto. Most of our people come and pick up out of there, and people come pick up once a week, once a month, some once a year. But an important thing to say is there's no membership fees or anything. We have a lot of folks on the list who just read the daily emails for the education of it. I like telling wine stories and get to tell one story about one wine each day and kind of cut through the clutter. Wine can be really overwhelming and we just like to simplify it and make it fun.
Yeah, and you said they're in the warehouse, people can come and like taste. There's a tasting area in the front and then also the warehouse behind.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever our list members come down to pick up wine, we always have a few wines open. It would look a little something like this. We pour wines, we talk about wine, we talk about food a lot. I often
because you like to cook, right?
I love to cook. A lot of the wine write-ups include suggestions for pairings, and this would be exactly the kind of dish we would suggest.
Well, you're knocking it out of the park so far. I really enjoy this, and so we're moving right along. What's next? It's a rosé, right?
Yeah, a rosé from our friends at Zitarelli Cellars down in the Columbia Gorge. Wonderful winery that's been around for a long time, and they just had a pretty terrible wildfire that took out their entire estate vineyard for this year. So really trying to support all the wineries in the Columbia Gorge, but especially Zitarelli. And they were kind of a pioneer in Washington for really dry, crisp rosé. It's hard to remember now, but 10 years ago, a lot of the rosés coming out of Washington were dark and sweet. This is anything but that. So
okay, I know. Cheers. And while I'm doing this, tasting notes and what to pair with like a rosé. I always think of summer rosé. It's sitting outside, enjoying a nice crisp glass.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it could be as simple as pairing it with a hot deck. You know, that could be the start. But rosé is a really versatile food wine. It's lovely with pastas. I like to have rosé with salad. Salad with a nice vinaigrette. It's one of the rare wines that can kind of cut through the pizzazz of a vinaigrette like that. So yeah.
Yeah, this is really light, not overly sweet, and I like, just how like clear and I don't know, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful to look at, beautiful to smell, beautiful to taste.
And
there's just nothing like rosé.
It's vibrant but not overpowering at all for a rosé.
Perfect.
Ooh, this one might be my fave so far, but we're moving to something that I think is really interesting, a chillable red.
Chillable red.
And it looks so light and like kind of like translucent almost.
It is. I know, it's so pale. So these chillable reds, it's a very hot category right now for us. We're selling a lot of them.
Really?
Yeah, people like this. Again, it's almost like the rosé of reds. It's light, it's crisp, it's wonderful for summer. You put a little bit of a light chill on it. The winemakers work with really thin-skinned grapes, so that's how you get this delicate pale color. And again, they're like really beautiful to look at. Super aromatic, and they taste great.
What is this one? Who makes this one?
Yeah,
Tell me about this specifically.
This is an Argentine winery called Passionate Wines, and it's made from an indigenous grape, kind of an obscure one called Criolla Grande. And I won't get into like the 1,000-word details here, but if you're on our list, you could get a 1,000-word email explaining everything about the history of the winery and why this grape is interesting. And so those are the kind of stories that we tell.
Okay, I'm gonna taste this, but what would you pair with this? Obviously, the pasta is gonna be amazing, so I'm gonna have a bite, and then another bite, another drink of this. But what else would you pair with a chillable red? And how long would you chill?
Yeah. So this time of year, I mean, I think of this as just a wonderful barbecue wine. So you're outside grilling or smoking, you know, if you're grilling sausages or burgers, this only needs maybe 30 to 45 minutes in the fridge. It doesn't have to be like really
ice
deep.
Cold.
Yeah, it shouldn't be ice cold, but it should be kind of, I mean, it's actually at a really nice temp right now. Like, you know that it's colder than you would normally drink a red, but it's not as cold as you would drink a white wine.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, and you have a cookbook. What is in here too that people can grab as well?
Yeah, so I wrote a book a few years ago, and it's a similar thing to what we talk about here. It's each chapter is a month of the year, and each month has 3 suggested wine pairings and a couple recipes to go with it. So it's all about seasonal eating and drinking.
Yeah, and again, where can people find you guys? And can we just like subscribe and sign up for this email?
Yeah,
Walk
exactly.
us through that.
Yep. So our website is fullpullwines.com. We've got a simple subscription box there. You sign up, and we'll start emailing you once a day. And then you can also come visit us in Soto. Our warehouse and tasting room is open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Amazing. What do you want people to know about too? Because wine can sometimes, people can get a little overwhelmed that it's not approachable, or like they panic, like what notes are you like tasting? You know, it can be a lot. So any tips?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that's always really appealed to people about our model. It appeals to folks who would walk into a brick and mortar shop and just be sort of overwhelmed by the selection. You know, wine is one of the last little cottage industries where there's just a ton of different products, and that's beautiful, but it's also really challenging. And so what we like to do is kind of cut through the clutter. You know, we taste all the bad stuff so that you don't have to, and we just send one wine every day.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here, Paul. This was so much fun.
That was wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you to you all for spending time with us today. You can check our website for more of our content, and you can always send us an email to share your thoughts. Don't forget to enjoy your new day, and we'll see you next time.